traders, you are welcome to another trading week. Let's do a quick recap of last week's forecast and then we get on to this week's. And for last week, the forecasts were on the AUDUSD, NZDUSD, AUDCAD, and the NZDCAD. I was actually rooting for some breakouts though, but then all the pairs ended up being choppy. A quick look at the AUDUSD. It went right down, didn't even get to the channel resistance before going down. Went right down and broke back up with just some small amount of pips breakout, which then reversed on Friday as well. For the NZDUSD, it's kind of remained neutral, and the choppiness were super crazy in the NZD-CAD and the AUD-CAD. So all of these pairs didn't even warrant any entries since they got choppy. We'll be looking at some fine opportunities for this week. So for this week, we have the EURUSD, the GBPUSD, the USD-CAD, and the AUDNZD on the forecast list. A quick one on the EURUSD. From the daily time frame, price found rejection right at 1 point. Hello traders, we are all welcome to a new trading week with fresh trading opportunities. The forecast for last week didn't really warrant any entry since the parameters set for entries weren't met at all. For the AUDUSD, it didn't even get to the channel resistance before going down and shooting back up. All the pairs kind of remained neutral throughout the week. They were choppy, and the choppiness was very crazy in the NZD-CAD and the AUD-CAD. For the NZD-USD as well, broke slightly back up, fell, and then pared some of its losses. That was it for the NZD-USD. And the choppiness was super crazy in the AUD-CAD and the NZD-CAD. It was a total mess, so they never warranted entry. So I even had to look at other pairs for trading opportunities. For this week on the forecast, we have the EURUSD, the GBPUSD, the USD-CAD, and the AUDNZD. Let's start with the most traded pair on the Forex market, the most liquid, which is the EURUSD. Some form of multi-time frame analysis over here. From the daily time frame, price actually shot up from the beginning of the week. Oh shit. Hello traders, we are welcome to another week with fresh trading opportunities. Last week's forecasts were on the AUDUSD, the NZDUSD, the AUD-CAD, and the NZD-CAD. The pairs went like super choppy, crazy like, so they didn't even warrant entry since the entry parameters that were specified weren't met. So I personally had to look for other trading opportunities in other pairs. Let's do a quick recap of last week's forecasts and then we get on to this week's. So starting with the AUDUSD, it didn't even get to test the channel resistance before it fell and pared all of its losses throughout the week. For the NZDUSD, kind of broke the channel resistance, fell sharply, and then pared some of its losses. The craziness occurred in the CAD pairs. That was the AD-CAD and the NZD-CAD. They were super choppy. The moves were just messy. They didn't even make any form of price action sense. They were just choppy. So getting on to this week, we have the EURUSD, the GBPUSD, the USD-CAD, and the AUDNZD. Let's start with a quick one on the EURUSD, which is actually some multi-time frame analysis over here. For the EURUSD, price moved up quickly throughout the week and found resistance at this level where it found the selling pressure. That level is the 1.12488. Getting into the 4-hour time frame or even the 1-hour time frame, we can actually see that we have a symmetrical triangle to deal with over here, but the trading idea will be better in the 4-hour time frame, which is a higher time frame and will provide enough and added confirmation. If price manages to break the resistance of the symmetrical triangle or breaks the support of the symmetrical triangle, we'll know where price will be headed. But there is just a single downside to this trade idea on the EURUSD, which will be a false break of the resistance or a false break of the support. So it's either it breaks the triangle resistance and warrants a long entry, or breaks the triangle support and warrants a short entry. And on the GBPUSD, the GBPUSD broke down crazy before the week ended. There was actually a channel in the 4-hour time frame. It had ranged for quite a long time throughout the week, and getting to Thursday and Friday, it broke down. Now, for price to be bearish, it needs to remain below this level. There are two instances of entry I'll be expecting over here. This is the lowest point of last week. If price manages to break below this low, then the probability that the shorts will still maintain the momentum will be high. Another instance I would also be looking at is if there is a retest of this support level that has been broken, which is currently a resistance level. It is the 1.20788. I'll be expecting a retest of that level also to consider a short entry as well. Those are the two instances for the short entries. But then if price manages to break above this support 10 resistance, then I would let go of my bearish idea on the GBPUSD. On the USD card as well, we have selling pressure on the daily time frame. From the 4-hour time frame, we have this kind of wedge, which is not our usual convergent wedge, but this one is rather divergent. Throughout the week, it kind of trended up weekly and broke back below the resistance level, and it actually also respected a resistance level on the daily time frame before losing all of its gains. For now, it looks as if it could go up from this level, which is the wedge's support. But then looking at the selling pressure from the daily time frame, I would actually be looking forward to favor the bears once price is able to break below this level, which is the 1.31943. That will mean that it has broken the wedge's support, and I'll be considering a short entry from there. Also, this level, which is 1.31722, is last week's lows. A break below this very horizontal level would be a bearish confirmation that the card is indeed strengthening against the USD. And then on to our final pair for the week, which is the AUDNZD. Start from the daily time frame. We have been in a long-term descending channel. So throughout the course of last week, price broke the descending channel support. Think on either on the AUD news or the NZD news, and it quickly went back up. It flew actually to break the descending channel's resistance and even gave us a retest, a form of messy or choppy retest on the 4-hour time frame basis. I was monitoring this pair throughout the week thinking I missed an entry, but then an entry might just come. For now, it looks as if the AUD is the weaker pair, the weaker currency in this pair. So there could be another retest of the descending channel resistance as support before we see price shooting back up, or the retest may never come. So I'll be looking for a long entry above this level, which is also last week's high, which is the 1.05203. But then if this retest never comes, and if price fails to break above last week's high, I'll be looking, I'll actually have a neutral outlook on this pair. It will either be another false break again and go back within the trading range, or it will be super choppy from this level. So it's a kind of complicated one on the AUDNZD, but we have really simple setups in the EURUSD, the GBPUSD, and the USDCAD. So I'll actually be concentrating more on the measures of this forecast. I really wish you a profitable trading week.